We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Welcome, Greg. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
First, Shannon, does Sherman have a point?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew that Pete Carroll had great success in college, and he brought the style with him to Seattle. Pete's a rah-rah guy. Pete's liable to put shoulder pads on and pads, and on special teams, he'll run down there with the team. We know Pete Carroll is rah-rah, but that rah-rah won your Super Bowl. That rah-rah got you to another Super Bowl. This comes off as being sour grapes, Skip. We know how this works. This is how it works. The way the NFL is set up now, you identify a quarterback, you get him on a rookie contract, and you can build around him. So you win as much as you can, as long as you can. And then they're going to have to start breaking this up. What happened with Pete? Pete just coming out of college, you look at his draft. Russell Okung in 210, and then he also gets Earl Thomas. And then you get Richard Sherman, and then you get Bobby Wagner, you get K.J. Wright, you get a Malcolm Smith, you get a Cam Chancellor, you build, because like Jimmy, Skip, you know this, Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys, he's coming from college, all those players that are good, he tried to recruit them, he got an opportunity to see them up close and personal, so Jimmy was just knocking it out the park, bang, bang, bang. Same thing with Pete. But this comes off as sour grapes because you're no longer there. You understand, Rich, I believe they tried to trade you, Richard, when you were 1,000% healthy. They were trying to move on. Did you actually think they were going to let you have $11 million coming off an Achilles injury? No chance was that going to happen. But the days of the 70 Steelers, Skip, that's over. When Jack Lambert and Mel Blount and Joe Green and all these guys, they stayed for one team. They couldn't leave. Now players like, okay, I've won. I'm going to get this big payday. Well, you're paying Russell Wilson $19 million. You got Richard, and they paid him as long as they could, Skip. Think about it. They kept this team together as long as they possibly could.
I agree.
Now it's over.
Yep.
But, Skip, they never, you talk about these stories in college, they never got over 49. They were never going to 49. They should have started dismantling by then because they never forgave Pete Carroll for that moment. That's what this is about. Yeah, Super Bowl 49. Yeah. But this just comes off as sour grapes. You're on another team. You've moved on. Let it go, Rich. Let it go.
I laugh because I've been where Richard Sherman is. I've had that moment where I'm out and then I'm picked up and then I feel like he feels. And he has a point. He does have a point about Pete Carroll and his style. But to your point, it does work, and it has worked, and it's been proven to work. But this is no different anywhere else in the NFL. This is no different anywhere else in the National Football League. You said it. You get your quarterback, you build around them, you build with youth, and you sprinkle veteran guys around them. You try to win when you can, and once their salary becomes too much and an injury may happen, then it's time to move on. And with Richard Sherman, like I understand because I've been there. When you have invested so much of your blood, sweat, tears, your Achilles, you've done everything. I mean, this is a guy who feels like they lost the Super Bowl because of their head coach.
Yeah.
Not because of their play,
right?
Because of their head coach.
Yep.
So of course he's going to feel like this. Of course, when you're the one that's on the outs, you're going to look back and now have everything to say. You want to know how I know? Because I did the same thing. And I'm not saying that what Richard Sherman is saying has no truth, has no merit, because he was inside that locker room. He knows and will be able to convey a lot of the feelings that a lot of other guys may share but aren't willing to say. But now that he's on the outs, he's going to let those feelings be known. And so with Richard Sherman, what he has to understand, and what I know he understands it, but right now he won't be willing to adhere to it, is that you're sour grapes, you're bitter right now because you did want to stay. Even though you had all these problems, even though you had all these issues with Pete Carroll, you still wanted to be in that Seattle Seahawks uniform. You still wanted to be within that organization, making plays, ending your career there. That's the loyalty mindset that so many players have, and it's unfortunate because it prohibits us from moving forward and making the best out of every other situation. So, I mean, he has some truth to his statement, and I understand there will be a lot more that Richard Sherman says, and I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, so reiterate, you won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, obviously in Green Bay. Then you didn't win for a while. You did fine, but you didn't win another championship. And then you go to Minnesota, and what were your first emotions? My
first emotions were Aaron didn't really stick up for me.
Okay.
He didn't go to bat
All
for
right.
me. And beyond even Aaron, I felt like I had done so much. And they talk about loyalty and family and all that, and it's like it sucks you all in the moment. And then the moment they have to release or remove family from the equation, they expect you to have forgotten about all of this that we've done together and to just move on. And you have to be able to do that because that's the business.
Any issues with Mike McCarthy as you left?
No issues with Mike McCarthy as I left. I mean, I've said things about his play calling style when he gets the lead, but we said that when we were there.
Okay.
But it all comes out when you walk away and you're no longer back in those halls, in that locker room, in those meeting rooms, and you're not making plays for that organization anymore. Your feelings and emotions are going to be vomited out.
Well, so that's the perfect verb to use. So, to me, Richard Sherman is going to miss playing for Pete Carroll because no coach in college or pro football gives his players as much leeway as Pete Carroll gives his players. That was at USC and at Seattle.
Great point.
It's his coaching style. I'm going to let you guys be you. I'm not going to ride herd over you. I'm not going to try to impose my will on you. You speak to the media. You speak out. You can speak against me, and I'm not going to call you in or reprimand you for that. Until Richard finally walked up to Pete Carroll during a game and said, you will not throw the football down there again at the goal line. Remember that? That was like the flashpoint. I think that was the turning point where Pete Carroll said, I have created a monster and he's devouring me, right? So after a while, you empower the players to a point where if you lose, they're going to turn on you because you've allowed that to happen.
Giving them that voice.
Yeah, like you talk about Jimmy Johnson. There is no way in those years I covered those Cowboy teams, anybody would dare cross Jimmy Johnson, especially during a game publicly, because their butt would be out the back door as fast as you could snap your finger.
I couldn't imagine somebody like, Mike, you will not call that play again.
You will not call that. What?
Huh?
Okay, but some of the responsibilities on Pete Carroll because that's
You
how he
enable
ran
them.
the ship.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's a great way to run it as long as you win. And as long as they just beat the stuffing out of Peyton and your Broncos, they were flying high, man.
That same college speech.
Yeah.
That same college anecdote.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, it's funny.
And this is what makes the Patriots run so impressive.
Yep.
You look at what Seattle was able to do in a 4-year time span, and then you triple that with the New England Patriots. But let me tell you something, Rich. That college style, that rah-rah, those anecdotes, those speeches, those meetings, when you're done, it's going to have you on the Hall of Fame ballot. That's what that coaching style will have done for you.
That's true. That's why I say he's going to miss that because he's going to look back fondly on these. There are some great times there,
Skip,
man.
they didn't re-sign me.
Denver didn't re-sign, yeah.
Skip, I was not upset that they didn't re-sign me. That's not why I was disappointed with the Broncos. I was disappointed that they thought they could win games equally without me. You do realize I'm like a 4-time All-Pro in a 7-year span, 7 consecutive Pro Bowls, 3 1,000-yard seasons, and you're like, okay, we good. I said, okay. Going, hey, I do that, Brian. You know that, Brian. You know that Brian be doing that all the time. That Skip.
He does that.
Oh, I said, okay. Oh, she got a little something up here for you.
Yep, he did.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.